So many tents here at Warner Springs. I guess it got so cold last night that it started to frost. There's like ice on all these plants. And I'm heading out of Warner Springs. And it was pretty cold last night. I'm still doing the flip-flops. And I've got compression sleeves for my Achilles tendons. I seem to be doing pretty good. The trail's been really nice for flip-flops right now too. If it gets too rocky, I'll switch back to my shoes. Ended up pretty much spending a $0 yesterday. Just trying to like keep off of them and maybe help them heal up. Plus I was waiting for my sun gloves to come in. And it took forever. Didn't get them till the end of the day. But I felt like I really needed them. Because my fingers are just looking rough. So the mountains after Idyllwild are supposed to be pretty snowy and bad. But I hear that you could cross them with microspikes and I should be fine. So I had them sent to Idyllwild. But now I hear the mountains before Idyllwild are also snowy and a lot of people got their microspikes in Warner Springs. So I don't have them yet. But we'll see how that goes in a few days. Hopefully it's not too bad. So this morning I woke to find that a bird pooped up a tent 3 times over the night. Luckily I was still spent the night at Warner Springs. Was able to just get some paper towels and water and clean it up. But really, it sucks. Gross. Today has just been brutally hot. It was frosty in the morning and it is just roasting. Hiking with my umbrella out. We're just hiking uphill. There's not much wind. It is a rough day. I'm trying to make it to the water tank at Mike's house, which would make today just shy of 18 miles. And it's rumored that he also does dinner and breakfast for hikers. So that's a huge bonus to try to stay there tonight. Everything cooled off and this wonderful breeze picked up and I just feel wonderful. Nothing's hurting and I feel amazing. These rock formations are so cool. Despite the heat, this evening is wrapping up to be beautiful. Well, I made it to Mike's. Almost there. Oh, look at that pizza. So last night I stayed at Mike's. He wasn't there, but he had a volunteer staying at his house. And he let us camp there. There were maybe 30 hikers all together. And they had a brick oven outside. It was fire fed. And they were making homemade pizzas. So I got to eat 2 slices of this delicious homemade pizza, which was fantastic. And then they had a dessert pizza where they mixed clove and cinnamon to the crust and loaded up with peaches. That was really yummy too. They did say they were going to make pancakes in the morning, but I had packed up and was ready to leave and they still weren't starting, so I didn't want to wait around because today's supposed to be another hot day and I wanted to get going. Every day the snow-capped mountains are getting a little bit closer. So with the snow-capped mountains over there, it sounds like a lot of people are being held up at Idyllwild. Some people at Mike's place last night were saying that all the hotels are booked up. There's no place to stay in town because everyone just gets there and is waiting around because they can't make it because of the snow. So I really hope that I can get a place to stay. I'm really late to shower and laundry and give my body a rest. Well, we'll see what happens. Now it's just getting really hot. Maybe the snow will melt by the time I get there. So this morning I learned that one of my friends back home passed away. I guess it was last month, but I've been so out of the loop with preparing for the trail and I must have missed it. So I've been thinking about him while I'm here. So I guess this is a water source. Just in there. There's some murky green water with a lot of crap flowing in it. I am so glad I filled up. Intending on skipping this water source earlier. I've got plenty of water and I'm not drinking that. There's trail magic. So I just had my first trail magic on the trail. A guy who hiked the PCT last year by the name of Twerk is living out of his van currently and doing photography for a living, and he decided to do trail magic for a day. He brought out a bunch of stuff and all the hikers just kind of collected as they came off the trail. I got an orange and a banana and they were delicious after a long hot day of hiking. Everyone else is still back there, but I'm moving pretty slow, so I wanted to head out, get to that campground. I think that was a coyote I just heard. A whole group of coyotes. It's the first coyotes I've heard so far. I've been seeing a lot of poop that would be coyote sized along the trail. I haven't seen them or heard them yet. So last night I stayed at this water cache on this person's property. They allow tenting there. They have like picnic tables and shade. Well, I got there at sunset, so I didn't really need it. They also had showers, but it was at that point too cold to take a shower. Cold water, I believe. But they also had one of those tiny free libraries, which I thought was really cute to have that on trail. I packed up early. I'm a few miles from Paradise Valley Cafe, or at least the parking lot where there's a road that takes you there. And I'm meeting my friend Keish for breakfast. So I'm looking forward to that. I really like breakfast food, so I pushed myself the last couple days and woke up early to make sure I can get there for breakfast rather than lunch or dinner. I think I'm gonna get the French toast. I feel like some of the flowers out here make me think of Dr. Seuss. I mean, these purple ones, for example, and they have like 2 or 3 flowers upon each other from the stem. And then these like pieces of grass with this like flower ring around them mixed in with the yellow flowers. I don't know what that is. It's definitely interesting. Hello. Hey. You having a good hike? Yeah? Having a good hike. Last night it got a bit chilly, but after waking up, it just started getting misty, and it's been like drizzling rain. I ended up staying in my tent for 2 hours, but it's not getting better. When I got into camp last night, it was at sunset. There was a lot of tents. No one was out and about. Everyone was sleeping. And 13 hours later, everyone else is still in their tents. No one's gotten up. So it feels kind of strange being the last one into camp and the first one out. But figured I might as well make some progress. I feel like the drizzling might have more been this heavy mist collecting in the leaves. When a strong gust of wind goes by, all the droplets fall off the leaves and hit my tent. It was a nice little wooded section. Whew. Man, the wind's been my mouth is kind of numb because of how cold it is. The wind's been pretty rough. So intense up here. Suddenly everything is clearing up. Woo! I guess this is the fire closure that opened back up. There's a lot of burnt shrubs. It's kind of hard to walk straight because the wind's blowing so hard. I feel like it's gonna knock me over. Foot on my head. This kind of looks spooky. What? more snow! I suspect we'll be seeing a lot more of that. Hiking and suddenly all this brush is like blood red. Just this field of blood red brush. It's kind of ominous looking. Found some more snow. Today's been particularly miserable, and I wish I was in town taking a zero. It's been really rough and wet and cold and windy. I'm absolutely exhausted. I'm worried about climbing up an elevation, and I'm hearing bad things about the trail up ahead. And I'm too tired to make it all the way to Idyllwild. So hopefully I'll find a decent place to camp. And hopefully everything in the pack is nice and dry. I'm just beat. I can't stop. It's gonna get too cold and I'm shivering. So I have to keep moving. I'm just exhausted. I might end up doing a Nero into Idyllwild tomorrow and then taking a zero afterwards. It's all cloud. And I'm this mountain here. It's finally blue skies, but the clouds are blowing over and then headed off over there. So I guess I'm just in the clouds right now. You can see this one forming there and just heading off out there. I guess that's why it's been so wet. It's so nice and clear down there. But we're just gonna walk back into the clouds and the wet and the miserable over there. I think it's Idyllwild down there. So I'll get him tomorrow. At least seeing the sun just makes me feel a lot better. I think it warmed up a little bit too. And it's no longer like wet, misty rain. So that definitely has lifted my spirits. And here's the snow. Oh boy, it looks really steep. The clouds are just pouring over the tops of the ridge. Whew. So last night was very brutal. It took a lot longer to get to camp, or to try to find any place to camp that was decent. A little bit out of the wind, because the wind was so insane. The elevation was getting to me a little bit. It was making it harder to breathe. Just going slower because of that and the snow. And as soon as I got to camp, everything started to instantly freeze. I had moisture on my gloves. It was instantly like snowy ice all over my gloves. My tent was wet from the night before, and halfway putting it up, it was frozen. There was just ice all over it. It was so cold with the wind chill. And getting all set up, the wind was blowing just from one direction. In the middle of the night it stopped, and then it started blowing from the other direction. I lost one of the stakes from my tent and it just flew up, so the corner of my tent was just flapping and flapping my face throughout the night, but I was too cold to get up and fix it. And then eventually the side with the door stake flew out, even though they were piled up underneath big rocks. And the whole tent just collapsed on me. One of the stakes is missing. Luckily someone else was awake and was able to lend me a stake. But it was really cold and not fun to get out in the middle of the night and take care of that. It was just really hard staying warm. Ended up using my ground sheet and an emergency blanket to like wrap myself / block some of the wind. I don't know exactly how cold it got, but that was a rough night. I was wearing everything. It's all just snow now. It keeps going. So much snow. So I really hope I'm on trail. I've just been hiking in snow, often really steep snow patches. This section isn't so bad. Sometimes you could see the trail, at least earlier on, and it wasn't lined up with where the tracks are in the snow. So it's definitely interesting, but like you can't see the trail. I'm just gonna follow along the tracks in the snow and assume I'm going the right way. I feel like I'm in northern Wisconsin right now. All this snow and trees. Most of today has been spent off trail, going vaguely in the direction, and sometimes trails split off or footprints split off and go the wrong direction. So this has been kind of slow going, plus 90% of this has been snow. This is finally the least amount of snow I've seen so far. I have no idea where the trail is, but I know I'm heading in the right direction, just not on the trail. But this is the same boat that everyone else has been in. Right now I'm headed down the double slide trail to get into Idyllwild. Hopefully I'll be meeting up with Quiche and he'll take me into town so I can get all my town tours done. It's gonna be a obnoxious 2.5 miles back uphill. But on the bright side, it's a beautiful day today. It's nice, it's not windy, it's sunny. Oh, I wish it was like this yesterday.
The dragon tree is down. Now he's gonna bark. But we're gonna get him to do his cowboy hat pose in the middle of it. Okay, buddy, you're gonna do the cowboy hat pose. Hang on a second. Very good. Very good at the
Mayor
cowboy
Max.
hat pose, and then he likes to shred his cowboy hat, which is why this looks so bad. I can't even tell him that's the front. Okay, here we go, buddy. We're doing that. Hey, come here, buddy. Here. There's a treat in your future. You gotta put your hat on first, though. That's not funny. Okay, here we go. Hey, buddy. I always say, he has a world-class trainer, but apparently not today. Okay.
Big stubborn Max.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, hang on. We're going to get this. Okay.
So
Get
cute.
it, buddy. You may have to get it, buddy. Hey, no shredding before I get the head